You've probably heard of the story of the three little pigs. I'm going to tell you that story quickly, but I'm going to give you a little twist at the end. The first pig built his house out of straw. The second pig built his house out of sticks. And the third pig built his house out of bricks. And who came knocking? The big bad wolf. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house down that was made of straw. He blew the house down that was made of sticks, but he couldn't blow down the house made of bricks. And that pig was safe. Well, in this case, the big bad wolf is the attorney who's going to be suing you. What do I mean by that? I mean asset protection. Because when you get sued by that attorney is going to look like a big bad wolf. And you have to have a good plan in place to protect against it. And it starts with ILATE. And that's what I'm going to go into next. So when the big bad wolf comes calling, how do you protect against him? And here's how. It's called ILATE. I-L-A-T-E. Don't be late with your asset protection planning. The I stands for insurance. What types of insurance? Personal and business. So in your personal life, think about your home and auto, and thinking about umbrella liability that covers over your home and auto, covers everything to do with that. In business, think about things like EPLI, Employee Practices Liability Insurance. Think about cybersecurity. Think about general liability. Think about personal liability insurance. Those things matter in your personal life and in your business. That's the first building block to ILATE and to protecting against the big bad wolf. The next thing in ILATE is laws. And when I say laws, I mean any laws that could protect your assets. So one example is homestead protection. Your state will have a homestead protection law. You need to know what that is because your primary residence will have a certain amount of protection. In Arizona, for example, it's $150,000. In Florida and Texas, it's unlimited. So you could have a home in Texas or Florida worth $20 million, completely asset protection. This is how laws will help protect you. So if you're one of those little pigs, you want to have your house made of bricks, and this will help you do that. Next in ILATE is annuities and life insurance. And you say, well, annuities and life insurance, how does that work? And life insurance. It depends on your state. You want to check what kind of protections your state has because some states have really good protections on money you put into annuities and life insurance. One word of caution, annuities and life insurance are sold by agents who often make hidden commissions. So just tread cautiously and make sure that whatever products you're buying for this purpose of asset protection also have other purposes in your life. Next in ILATE is trusts. And you might have heard the term before, but what in the world is a trust? A trust is merely a box that you put stuff in. You put money, you put real estate, you put assets in, and then the rules of that box govern how and when and who can take money out and how that money gets managed and how those assets get managed over time. The trust you might have heard of is a revocable living trust that often is the part of a basic estate plan. There are more advanced trusts than that, but that trust doesn't protect you from the big bad wolf unless you die, because then it becomes irrevocable. But there are irrevocable trusts, meaning trusts you can't change and amend, that do have protection. Those are called asset protection trusts. And that's what I'm talking about. So as you build wealth and you build assets, you may want to consider a trust structure like that to protect your assets and your real estate and your investments from the big bad wolf. And the E in ILATE stands for entities. Entities provide a lot of protection. So if you have a business, you might be a sole proprietorship. The reason why that's often not a good idea is because there's no protection from the big bad wolf. So you want to think about having things like an LLC or a partnership or a C Corp or an S Corp. Those are all entities. You might own a piece of real estate and you put that in an LLC. So if someone is out on your real estate and trips and falls, that they can't get to the other assets. They can only get to the real estate in the LLC. Or if you have something in an LLC, someone who sues you can't get into that LLC because they sued you for a different purpose or in a different part of your investment world. So keep in mind entities and how they work, and that's the E in ILATE. Why ILATE and why asset protection? Well, clearly to protect your assets. What if you don't have that put into place? There was a guy driving his car in Phoenix. He was texting while he was driving, he wasn't paying attention. He ran a stop sign and he hit an elderly woman in her car and she was badly injured. He spent years, because there was no ILATE, there was no plan, he spent years litigating, fighting this, paying attorneys, and he lost. There was a big judgment against him. And the judgment was so big that he didn't have the assets to cover it himself. So the judge made him pay $10,000 a month for 20 years to try to pay off some of this judgment. This is why you need to think about ILATE and asset protection. So when the big bad wolf comes to you, you've got a house made of bricks. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out this next video.